as private as he can. So I'm very excited to introduce you guys to Cory Wade.
Thanks, Carl. I'll keep it brief. When I think about the event last night and the event today, where we are doesn't happen without our alumni support. Mark Jenkins, Don Holloway, you entrusted Dave and Jake and myself and Nolan with something really special, and we want to thank you for that. And it's been really fun watching the current actives, kind of us passing the torch to them, and they've taken it and run with it. And in that vein, I'd like to introduce our chapter president, Mr. Richard Skowron, for his remarks.
Like Cory said, my name is Richard Skowron, and I'll be the chapter president for the next 27 hours. We just had our election cycle, so we'll be transitioning next chapter, which is in roughly 27 hours. I apologize for the tent not being set up. Like I've learned in this job, you got to expect the unexpected. And about an hour ago, we found out that half our tent was across campus, and the other half was in the house. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I did want to thank Cory. Like Carl said, we went an entire year last year without an alumni advisor. And when Malcolm, the last president, was talking to me when I was taking over, he's like, "You got to find an alumni advisor." I looked around, there was no one. It's on you. You got to go find one. And he did tell me that, oh, you should look into Cory Wade. I know he doesn't fit the 5-year requirement from being graduated, but he would be a good person to go trick into being the alumni advisor. So we were able to trick Cory into agreeing to do it, and then with the help of John Kanipe, he was able to convince the people at Nationals to get Cory approved. And originally Cory said, "I don't know if I'll be here in Raleigh for more than a year, but I'd be happy to help for 1 year." And I said, "That's all I need right now. I can push it on the next guy." But Cory has recently told me he will be around for next year, so we do have Cory again, which is he's been a big asset to our chapter, and I've really appreciated having him just to bounce advice off a little bit, and for him to set up the alumni advisory board, which has really helped out this semester. So I did want to talk briefly about what the new house will kind of mean to the active chapter. With our recent success, it's kind of astonishing, what we've been able to do in the past 5-6 years to get to the size we are at. It's been something I've been very grateful to be a part of. I've been very honored to be the president. It's something I would recommend to everyone. I am counting down the hours till I get out, but it was something I would do again given the opportunity. It was something I would recommend to anyone who loves the fraternity. That's the biggest part of being president. You really have to have a passion for it. You really have to care about it. Because if you don't love it, if you don't take it as your own, you're not gonna last long in that job. But the new house, this ceremony and this time as the chapter, it's really a time to start looking forward and looking to accomplish bigger and better things. We've accomplished so much already, but we still have so much left we can do and so much left we should do and we're capable of doing. We're one of, if not, I would argue we're the top campus or the top chapter on campus right now. But we should honestly be looking to be the top campus in the nation, top chapter of Lambda Chi in the nation. That's something the school has been pushing us to do, and that's something that we need to continue and we need to continue to strive for. And what this new house will do, it'll give the brothers, of course, living there, that'll give them a newfound sense of brotherhood, a newfound sense of this is who we are, this is what we can accomplish. It'll give the alumni that same sense of we're all brothers in this together. Look what we accomplished. It'll be a great tool for Rush. I know people with Sigma Nu does well all the time because they have their huge house and they can say, "Hey, look, we live here. It's awesome." That'll be us in a short while. So yeah, looking forward will be crucial for this chapter. But it is also important to remember where we came from. Last year we started the tradition of honoring alumni who have given their life to Lambda Chi. Last year we recognized John Kanipe as a chapter for his lifetime achievement of work for Lambda Chi. So there is someone who's already spoken today. I want to, on behalf of the chapter, recognize him as a brother who has served Lambda Chi his entire life. He recently celebrated his 50th anniversary of becoming a GU. He's been our housing corps president, for years now. He's been a great leader and a great supporter of this fraternity. So with that, I would like to present the Yamlupson Lifetime Dedication Award to Jerry Lassiter. I'll hand it off to whoever is next. Hey, good afternoon. My name is Dave Boley, and it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker this afternoon, Jim Owens. So Jim, when he was an undergrad in Gamma Upsilon, served as social chair for 3 years. After undergrad, he earned his doctorate in economics from NC State and went on to have a successful career, 38 years at Caterpillar, where he was chairman of the board and CEO. Currently, Jim is the chair for the NC State Board of Trustees. Our brother embodies the spirit of Lambda Chi Alpha and shares our passion for seeing our Greek system grow at NC State. Please join me in welcoming Jim Owens.
Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you, David. I said you could start with my introduction with here's Jimmy, but it didn't work. And I must say, I'm here really as chair of the Board of Trustees. I haven't done much housework, but we have a great team of brothers that have, and I'm really proud of what they've achieved. But from the Board of Trustees and from the university, from Chancellor Woodson, I bring you special regards. He's up at Fenway Park today watching our baseball team. Hopefully pull off a victory in a baseball shrine. But I know he's here in spirit. And I can tell you, as a university, we really feel strongly about having a great system. And the chapter that's reformed and the leadership of the Brotherhood that's here, the academic performance, the civic involvement, etc., I think just give the university a lot of confidence in you as a group of young men. Very enthusiastic about getting this house built, and so I think great universities have diversity. Part of that diversity is a very strong Greek system that does yield great support for the university, not only the fraternity but the university over time. So you can give money to this project as part of our capital campaign, so that's a good thing. Tax deductible, maybe. But anyway, it's been fantastic. I just want to say the money I gave was Katie and mine too, so I want to thank her. Half of it's hers, she didn't know. A long time ago, brothers I had did some wonderful things for me and reached out a hand when I really needed one back in about 1967. And so giving a little back is a great pleasure for me and for our family. So congratulations to all of you who've done all this phenomenal work. This is a hard thing to get done, but the site's beautiful. Carl's got a great rapport with chief architect in NC State, so it got rave reviews from the review. I went and slipped in the room and sat in on that review of this house, and smooth sailing ahead. All we need is a little cash. So, John, over to you.
Thank you, Jim. We appreciate all that he's done at NC State. I had the pleasure of, John came down to our restaurant in Beaufort last week, and I thought to myself, why would somebody give so much time? And my wife's question was a little more, how come y'all love college so much? And of course, you can't really explain it unless you're a brother, and there are a lot of reasons. But I'm going to tell a brief story about my grandfather. I'm fourth generation in my family to go to NC State, so it runs deep. My grandfather was the only one of 12 who came to NC State at the dawn of the 1920s, and John, you're not going to believe this, but he lived in the small town of Orem, which was your next door neighbor in Faribault, North Carolina, where you're from. I believe he lived about 2 dirt roads over between you. His brother was Judd Ammons, and Judd paid for him to go to school at NC State. There were only 800 students. Chancellor Riddick, some of you in engineering might recognize that name, was running the school. He lived in Gold Dorm, and his best friend was TW. And when I got ready to come off the school, my grandfather came with me. My dad couldn't come that day, and he believed in NC State. It was state college to him. There was no university. He said, now, I want to tell you that your 4 years at NC State are going to go really quickly, and you might want to consider joining a fraternity. The exact word is, there is a continuum when you join a fraternity. Well, I didn't think anything of it. I got out of the car, and I was like, 4 years is going to last forever, and I don't know anything about fraternity. No one had ever joined. Lo and behold, 35 years later, he was right. My grandfather lived in Gold Dorm. The student supply store was in Brooks Hall. There was a speakeasy under the Darrells called the Varsity where they drank liquor illegally. He met my grandmother, a peace girl named Mimi, and that's the reason I'm here today. And that's how the story goes. So fast forward to 1978, I joined Lambda Chi Alpha, and I go back and tell my grandfather, I've joined a fraternity. And he goes, you know, I helped open a fraternity, and my friend TW did too. I never thought to ask him. And I said, well, did I join yours? He said, no, you didn't, but you joined my friend's TW's fraternity. I said, well, what was his name? He said, well, TW Alexander. He started your fraternity. TW was GU1. And so that's how that story came to be. John came to NC State about the time my dad was finishing, and just yesterday, I never asked my father, but his roommate was a man from Durham, North Carolina. His name was Dave Scanlon. Turns out he was the Lambda Chi, and he lived on Hillcrest Street. He passed away recently, but my dad always talked about him. My dad met a girl at Meredith, and married her, and that's why I'm here. And so did John. John met a nice young girl from Meredith named Jane. Problem is, he had to snake his fraternity brother to get him to go out with her. And he had happily ever after, right, John? Another good story. I believe John Kanipe is probably the only person in our fraternity that's spoken with or mentored every single person since May of 1962 when he was initiated. It is a remarkable feat if you think about it. And he did the same for me. And I think our best day together, John, with Rick and I and you were in Nashville. I really cried when Miss Jones got that award. I didn't really think we were going to win the others. Didn't even know about it. But that day was something special. I wish you could have been there. And of course our funeral was a tough day too. The man has given everything he has. He graduated from NC State. He's got a master's degree. He was vice chancellor of development at North Carolina State. He's instrumental in the school going from 800 people from my grandfather to today, which is remarkable. We actually have girls in NC State. It's just truly remarkable. My grandfather wasn't married. Actually got to talk to girls at campus. And we come to today. It's my pleasure to introduce a distinguished NC State alumnus, the Grand High Zeta Board of Directors, and our Order of Merit winner, and most importantly, Gamma Upsilon 495, John T. Knight, Jr.